Right everybody, welcome along to my Championship midweek predictions. Actually in yesterday's video we brought out the review of the weekend's action. We've got some big games in midweek coming up, so a busy schedule in the Championship this season. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it and give our predictions and what we think is going to happen in this midweek edition of the Championships fixtures. So into the first game, it's Burton, they're home to Barnsley. A relegation scrap type of game this. Burton obviously lost 2-1 to Ipswich on Saturday, scored their first home goal in 6 home games as well. I think the last time they scored I can't really remember at home, so that's not good, as we discussed it in yesterday's video. Looking at Barnsley, got a really good point up at Sheffield Wednesday. Harvey Barnes scored a wonderful goal. They probably could have won the game at the end if had Jordan Rhodes' own goal stood. I think there was a foul in the build up to it. But nevertheless, it's a good point for Paul Hecking bottom side, and they're starting to get some momentum going, starting to get some good results going, and starting to get some good momentum and improvement into this young Barnsley side. They're really starting to gather momentum and push forward this season. And I'm going to go for 2-1 Barnsley. I think in this game we've got some good young players, like Harvey Barnes, Brad Potts as well, Tom Bradshaw to name 3. And I think they're in good form, and that point at Sheffield Wednesday could be a major turning point, and I'd just see Burton slipping up again at home. So moving to the second game, it's Cardiff. They're home to Ipswich. Cardiff got a draw against Millwall on Saturday. Could have had a penalty. There was a big debate whether Lee Tomlin's goal should have stood when he kicked the ball, when Jordan Archer threw it up in the air. He could kick it away, but I think the old rules say that even though Archer's not got his hands on the ball, he's threw it up in the air, he's still in possession of the ball. However, they got a point, maybe lucky to get a point. Maybe they could have gone down to 10 men after a foul on Lee Gregory from Sean Morrison, but nevertheless, the point wasn't the worst result in the world, but they really should be trying to be beating them type of teams like Millwall if they really want to try and progress and try and get into the top 6. And Ipswich got a good result up against Burton, ended that run of 3 straight defeats as well. Bertrand Angelini scored the winning goal, perfect free kick as well as a Waghorn strike. This will be an entertaining game for both teams, I think. Personally, I'm gonna go for a draw. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I think both sides are well organised. Mick McCarthy and Neil Warnock both know what each other's sides will how they'll basically play basically. And they both know each other's game very well from a managerial perspective. And I just think that both managers will be clever enough to shut each other out. I think it'll be a draw. I don't think either side will win this game, so I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. So into the next game, Fulham vs Bristol City. I'm going to this game tomorrow night. It's a big game for Fulham, for us really. Poor game against Bolton. We were lucky to really get a late goal in that game, thanks to Tom Kenny. Good work from McDonald to cut in, cross it into stand up a nice cross, got to the ball and he whipped it in. And Kenny got a nice header in. Past, I think, Ben Anakin between the sticks. And Bristol City have got a fantastic result up at Sunderland. Wasn't the best of games, as Lee Johnson said. It wasn't something they'd be getting the Barcelona job off the back of. However, they won ugly. A goal from Bobby Reid and Milan Djuric got the 2 goals in that game. And they're looking quite good in terms of trying to nail down the playoff place. They're still around that top 6, so that's positive for them. I'd love to see a 2-1 Fulham, but I'm not too sure the way we are at the moment. Bristol City are in good form, but I'm going to go over a 1-1 draw in this game as well. I'd love to see a Fulham win, but I think at the moment we're not playing the best at home this season. Only 1 home win this season as well, getting that game against Hull, 2-1 in September. So I'm going to go over 1-1 draw in this game. I think it'd be good to get anything from this game against a strong Bristol City side, and also ahead of the games we have on Friday night as well as next week as well. So moving on, Hull versus Middlesbrough. Hull score a lot of goals this season, but they're just struggling to defend this season. As Danny Higginbottom said on Saturday, as I also said in my previous video, when they're scoring 2 goals at home, or at least 2 goals a game, you really should be winning these games. And it's a bit of a surprise to see you lose these games. Middlesbrough, on the other hand, got a fantastic result against Reading. 2-0 win there, just what they needed. They kind of stagnated a bit this season, but that'll just, hopefully they can use that to kick on now. They're sitting, I think, 12th or 11th in the table, just in and around that top half, so they'll be looking to try and close the gap on the top 6, which is not really, there isn't much a big difference really from where Middlesbrough and teams like Middlesbrough and Fulham are to the top 6. I think it's a difference of about 3 points, so it's not a lot of difference really. And if Hull can tighten up defensively, then they could actually be a mid-table side with maybe a late surge for the playoffs this season. I don't think that's going to be the case, to be honest. I think they've lost too much ground this season, and I think defensively they're just not good enough to try and trouble the top half, let alone top 6. However, I'm going to go over Middlesbrough 3, Hull 1 in this game. I think Middlesbrough are coming to this game strong. I think they've already tested Hull's defensive frailties. The likes of Britt Assombalonga are going up against Michael Dawson. You've got Braithwaite as well. And you've got Ashley Fletcher, 3 big strikers there who can all play a part. Young Marcus Tavernier as well. He got his first game as well. Brother to Rangers fullback James Tavernier as well. So it's good to see Gary Monk giving faith to some of the youngsters who played well in the Cup and who played well in the Carabao Cup during the week as well. So I'm going to go for 3-1 in this game. I just think that Middlesbrough's firepower will just be too much to handle for Hull's back line. So moving on, it's next game Leeds versus Derby. Big game. This would be a big game for Leeds, whether they can bounce back after a defeat to Sheffield United on Friday night. It's been a bit of inconsistency creeping into Thomas Christensen's side recently, and you've really got to try and think whether they can really arrest that type of form and really try and push on. Whereas Derby got a really good result against Norwich, a really good performance there, fantastic away performance. Smash and grab, really a goal from David Nugent and then a winning goal from Sam Winnall right at the end as well. Puts Gary outside firmly into the playoff mix now. They're doing quite well this season. Gary Rout's assembled a very small but clever little team there he's got down at Derby. And I think Leeds will struggle this season. I don't think Leeds will struggle this season, but I think they'll struggle in this game against a team like Derby. You don't really have to have much of the ball. Gary Rout doesn't mind playing a counter-attacking style of football either. And I'm going to go with a Derby 2, Leeds 1. I think Derby are in good form at the moment, and I think if they can go a goal up at Ellen Road and really get the home fans on Leeds back, it could play a major factor in this. So going into the next game, Norwich host Wolves. Another good game on paper. Norwich were unlucky really to lose against Derby on Saturday. Maybe felt Winnall's goal was offside. Could have had a penalty as well when Josh Murphy got taken down by Scott Carson in the first half. That to me it looked like a penalty judging from what I saw by the highlights, so they could count themselves unlucky. Coming against the Wolves side who surprisingly lost away at QPR 2-1. Leo Bonatini scored a goal, however, a Connor Washington goal and a Matt Smith goal put there. Good start to the season on a little dip at the moment, so it's not much to worry about. I do think they'll bounce back here, but it'll be a very tight game and go over 2-1, another 2-1. I think Wolves will have a little bit more in hand in terms of quality than Norwich. I think that'll just get them over the line. So going into the next game, QPR host Sheffield United. Another huge game for QPR. They've got two massive games. They had one Saturday against Wolves and another one against Sheffield United. So they're playing the top two in the Championship in the space of a week. So it's going to be a test of whether QPR's strong, if they've not used up too much energy and they're not tired after playing really well against Wolves. So it'll be an interesting to see whether they can keep up that consistent performance like they did against Wolves. They played really well in that game as well. Stuck to their laurels. Played really well, stuck to their guns as well, and grinded out a good result. Matt Smith scoring a goal as well as Connor Washington. Them two will be crucial to QPR this season. And I just think Sheffield United will win this game. I think fantastic result against Leeds. It's just what they needed as well. And I think they're going to win this game 2-0. So moving on to Sheffield Wednesday versus Millwall. I can see Millwall getting something from this game. They've gone to Cardiff, got a good point there obviously before that, beating Birmingham 2-0 at home. So I think that'd be a fantastic way to try and add to that. 15th in the table, I think it is. Made that adaptation from League One to Championship quite easily. And if Sheffield Wednesday, I personally think this could be the game where Carlos Carvalhal could get the sack. If he doesn't get anything from this game, 2 home games against Barnsley and Millwall, I could look to that and thought 6 points minimum, maybe 4 points at a push. But if he doesn't get anything from this game, I think he'll be on borrowed time. So I'm going to go with a Sheffield Wednesday 1, Millwall 1. So going to the next game, it's Sunderland versus Bolton. Second bottom versus bottom. So it's interesting to see whether Sunderland can really add to this. It's going to be a very tough to see, really. They've been struggling at home, and Bolton done well on their travels. Unlucky not to get a win against us up at Fulham on Saturday. Played some really good stuff, and they really was unlucky not to get a win. Amiobi scored the goal. And Sunderland are really struggling at the moment. So I'm going to go for Bolton 2, Sunderland 1. I think Bolton are playing really well at the moment. Got some good counter-attacking football. I think it'll be Sunderland's home form's die this season, and it's really going to cost them. So moving to the next game, it's Reading versus Forest. So Reading, I think this is another big test for Reading, really. Lost to Middlesbrough at home, sitting I think 20th in the table now, so it's not been the best of seasons for them. Against a Nottingham Forest side who played really, really well against Hull, played some lovely counter-attacking stuff. Kieran Dow scored 3 wonderful goals, and there were some really good goals in that game as well. But I think they could really do a tighten up a bit defensively. They do leak a lot of goals, Nottingham Forest, as well as scoring loads, but they do tend to have that tendency to win games. So I'm going to go over Nottingham Forest 2-1 in this game. I think they'll play really well again, full of confidence on their travels, and I think they'll win this 2-1. So next game is Birmingham versus Brentford. I'm going to go over home winning this game. I'm going to go for 1-0 Birmingham, just for the fact they look quite solid now under Steve Cottrell. Bit more organised and well drilled. Didn't do too bad on Sunday against Aston Villa. Perhaps they were lucky not to lose the game, but in football you need a bit of luck to get a positive result. So I'm going to have a 1-0 here against Brentford, who got a good result against Preston, 3-2 at Deepdale. But I just think against a well-drilled Birmingham side with really good quality, I think that could really hurt Brentford, and I think they'll win 1-0. So finally, into the last game, it's Preston. They're home to Aston Villa. I'm going to go with an away win in this game. Preston lost, as I just mentioned, 3-2 against Brentford on Saturday at home. Wasn't the best result for them. Against an Aston Villa side who are doing really well at the moment. Good result against Fulham, followed by a solid point on the road against Birmingham. Could have won the game. Adoma and Keane Davis both hit the crossbar right at the end, so they both could have thought they could have got a goal each in that game. But I do think they'll win this game 2-1. But I think it'll be a very tough game. Preston are well organised, a well-drilled unit, but I think Aston Villa just have enough quality in the final third and get them 2 important goals. So there you have it, guys. There's my Championship midweek predictions. If you do like it, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I'll be back tomorrow vlogging the Bristol City game, which will be out Wednesday. So we'll see you then. Thank you and bye-bye.